Hi, EV1. Welcome to English Story School, where we unlock the magic of English through captivating stories and enchanting tales. Imagine standing in front of a barren patch of land, a place where the earth seems to hold no promise, where nothing but a few stubborn weeds have taken root. Now close your eyes and picture that same space transformed. Lush green plants swaying in the breeze, vibrant flowers attracting buzzing bees, and the laughter of children echoing through the air. This transformation didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen by chance. It was the result of a dream, a vision, and the collective effort of an entire community. This is the story of the School Garden Project, where a group of determined students, guided by a passionate teacher and supported by their community, turned an empty lot into a living, breathing classroom. It all began in the modest classroom of Maplewood Elementary, where Mrs. Daniels, a science teacher with a heart full of ideas, gazed out the window at the unused plot of land behind the school. To many, it was just a neglected space, but to Mrs. Daniels, it was a blank canvas, waiting to be painted with the vibrant colors of life. She wanted her students to see beyond the textbooks, to touch, taste, and experience the wonders of science in a way that would ignite their curiosity and passion. As she stood before her class one morning, her eyes bright with enthusiasm, she shared her vision. "Imagine," she said, "if we could grow our own vegetables right here at school. We could learn about plants, the environment, and even nutrition. And the best part? We could all work together to make it happen." The spark ignited by Mrs. Daniels's vision quickly spread through the classroom like wildfire. For some students, the idea of creating a garden was entirely new, something they had never experienced firsthand. They had never so much as planted a seed or felt the rich soil beneath their fingers. To them, the notion of transforming a bare, neglected plot of land into a vibrant garden was nothing short of magical. For others, the concept evoked cherished memories of gardening with grandparents, where time spent in the garden had been a blend of lessons and laughter, dirt-streaked hands, and the joy of watching plants grow. Regardless of their backgrounds, the thought of taking on this project filled them all with a collective excitement and a burgeoning sense of purpose. They envisioned the barren lot blossoming into a colorful tapestry of vegetables, herbs, and flowers, and they couldn't wait to roll up their sleeves and dive in. The idea of the School Garden Project had taken root in their hearts and minds, setting the stage for what promised to be a transformative journey. But as with any grand vision, turning this dream into reality required navigating a labyrinth of challenges. The first hurdle was planning, a crucial phase that involved making a myriad of decisions. What types of plants would thrive in their garden? How would they design the layout to maximize space and sunlight? Where would each plant be situated to ensure it received the right amount of nutrients and care? The students, under Mrs. Daniels's guidance, began to tackle these questions with a blend of enthusiasm and trepidation. They pored over gardening books, consulted online resources, and even spoke with local horticulturists to make informed choices. Yet planning was only the beginning. The garden's success hinged not just on careful selection and arrangement of plants, but on the practical aspects of bringing the project to life. The group faced the challenge of acquiring the necessary tools, soil, seeds, and other resources. The plot, once a mere expanse of dirt, needed to be prepared and nurtured. How would they secure funding and materials? How would they manage the physical labor required to get the garden off the ground? The students' initial excitement was tempered by these pressing logistical concerns. Recognizing the enormity of the task, Mrs. Daniels understood that the project extended far beyond the confines of her classroom. It was an opportunity to engage the entire community, to turn a collective vision into a shared reality. She reached out to parents, local businesses, and community leaders, presenting the project not just as a classroom activity, but as a community endeavor that could foster connection and collaboration. To her delight, the response was overwhelming. The community rallied with donations of tools, seeds, and even time. Parents volunteered to help with the initial setup. Local businesses provided materials, and city officials offered support and encouragement. As the support poured in, the students' sense of purpose deepened. They were no longer just working on a school project. They were part of something larger, a communal effort to breathe life into an empty space and to create a lasting legacy for their school and community. With renewed vigor and a growing team of helpers, the students and their mentors began the exciting process of turning their garden vision into a flourishing reality. Parents, local businesses, and even city officials rallied around the cause. Donations of tools, seeds, and time poured in, transforming the once daunting task into a shared community effort. The excitement built as the day of the first planting drew near. Armed with shovels, seeds, and a whole lot of enthusiasm, the students gathered at the plot, ready to bring their garden to life. As they dug into the earth and planted each seed, they were sowing more than just plants. They were sowing the seeds of patience, responsibility, and teamwork. For many, it was their first experience with gardening, and they took to it with a sense of wonder and pride. But as any gardener will tell you, the road to a flourishing garden is rarely smooth. The students soon faced their first setbacks. Some plants refused to grow, pests threatened to undo their hard work, and the weather seemed determined to test their resolve. Frustration began to set in, but Mrs. Daniels was there to guide them through each challenge. Gardening is about learning from your mistakes, she reminded them. It's not always easy, but with every challenge, we grow stronger. And grow stronger they did. The students researched natural pest control methods, adjusted their watering schedules, and even built makeshift greenhouses to protect their plants from the elements. Slowly but surely, the garden began to thrive. As the seasons shifted, so too did the fate of the once barren patch of earth behind the school. What had begun as a simple, desolate plot transformed into a lush, vibrant garden, bursting with life and color. This metamorphosis was not just a testament to nature's resilience, it was a reflection of the dedication and passion poured into it by the students and teachers alike. Each passing day, they marveled at the changes taking place, eagerly counting the days until the much-anticipated harvest. With the arrival of spring, the garden began to awaken from its slumber. Tiny green shoots pushed through the rich, dark soil, reaching for the sun. The students had sown seeds of tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, and peppers, and now, as the plants grew taller and stronger, excitement rippled through the school. They spent afternoons digging, watering, and tending to their plants, often getting lost in laughter and camaraderie as they shared tips and tricks learned from their families. The garden had quickly become more than just a patch of soil. It was a living classroom where science, teamwork, and responsibility flourished hand in hand. Mrs. Garcia, the enthusiastic science teacher, led lessons on plant biology, explaining how roots absorb nutrients and how photosynthesis fuels growth. Students gathered around, their eyes wide with curiosity as they learned how their efforts were nurturing life. As the weeks turned into months, the garden flourished. Vibrant flowers bloomed alongside rows of verdant vegetables, creating a breathtaking mosaic of colors and scents that wafted through the air. The aroma of fresh basil mingled with the earthy scent of ripening tomatoes, and the buzzing of bees provided a lively soundtrack to the students' hard work. Then came the day of the first harvest, a moment the entire school had been waiting for with bated breath. Banners were hung, colorful streamers danced in the gentle breeze, and the excitement was palpable. Students adorned in gardening gloves and sun hats gathered early, ready to collect the fruits of their labor. It was not just about the vegetables. It was a celebration of their dedication and teamwork, a tangible result of their efforts. As the students gathered in the garden, their hearts raced with anticipation. They began picking plump, ripe tomatoes, crisp cucumbers, and vibrant peppers, their laughter ringing out like music. Each vegetable was greeted with cheers and high fives as they filled baskets to overflowing. The joy of their accomplishments was written across their faces, a mixture of pride and disbelief at how something so small could yield such abundance. The garden's impact, however, extended far beyond the harvest itself. As word spread throughout the community, families began to join in the celebration. Local farmers contributed by sharing their knowledge, bringing heirloom seeds and offering advice on sustainable gardening practices. Parents and community members came together to set up a potluck-style feast, where everyone was invited to share their favorite recipes made with the freshly harvested produce. The day of the harvest festival dawned bright and clear, with the sun shining down on the gathering that filled the schoolyard. Long tables were adorned with colorful dishes, each plate reflecting the diversity of the community. People shared stories of their favorite meals, reminiscing about childhood flavors and family traditions. Laughter echoed, and the sweet sound of connection filled the air, weaving a tapestry of shared experiences that united everyone present. As the students presented their freshly picked vegetables to their families, they felt a deep sense of pride. It was a moment of recognition for their hard work, and they stood tall, beaming with accomplishment. Together, they celebrated not only the bountiful harvest, but also the friendships forged in the soil, the lessons learned under the sun, and the community spirit that had blossomed alongside their plants. Throughout the festival, the students led tours of the garden, eagerly explaining what they had learned. They showed off their favorite plants and described the challenges they had faced along the way: pest invasions, unexpected weather, and the thrill of watching seedlings grow. Their enthusiasm was infectious, inspiring attendees to consider their own gardens at home or to start one for the very first time. As twilight descended, the festival transformed into a cozy gathering under the stars. Strings of lights twinkled overhead as families and friends settled down on picnic blankets, sharing dishes and stories late into the evening. Conversations flowed effortlessly, with laughter punctuating the air, and the sense of togetherness enveloped everyone like a warm embrace. In the months that followed, the bonds formed during the harvest only deepened. Students continued to care for the garden, but they also took it upon themselves to engage with the community. They organized regular workshops, inviting local chefs to demonstrate how to cook with seasonal vegetables and encourage families to explore healthy eating habits. The garden became a hub of activity, fostering creativity and collaboration, and drawing people together in new and meaningful ways. The school and the community had merged into a thriving ecosystem of support and friendship, proving that when people come together for a common purpose, the results can be extraordinary. What began as a simple garden project had blossomed into a movement that revitalized not only the land, but also the hearts of those who tended it. The students learned invaluable lessons about hard work and dedication, but perhaps most importantly, they discovered the joy of community, how working together could cultivate something far greater than any single vegetable or flower. As seasons continued to change, the garden remained a symbol of growth, resilience, and unity. Its impact echoed through the school hallways and neighborhood streets, creating a legacy that would inspire generations to come. It was a reminder that nurturing not only the earth, but also the relationships around them could yield a harvest that nourished the spirit. Together, they had cultivated more than a garden. They had planted the seeds of community, connection, and enduring friendship. The school garden project started as an ambitious idea proposed by Mrs. Daniels, the science teacher with a passion for the outdoors. At first, it was merely a way to bring the curriculum to life, an interactive science experiment where students would learn about plant biology and ecosystems. But as the weeks unfolded, it blossomed into something much more profound, weaving itself into the very fabric of the students' lives and the broader school community. From the moment they turned the first shovels of dirt, excitement bubbled in the air. The students were not just digging, they were breaking ground on a journey that would teach them lessons far beyond the confines of textbooks. With their hands in the soil, they learned about the importance of soil health, composting, and the intricate web of life that exists beneath their feet. Each lesson became a hands-on experience that anchored abstract concepts in tangible reality. As they planted seeds of tomatoes, cucumbers, and herbs, the students became budding gardeners, observing the cycles of life with rapt attention. They learned to nurture their plants with water and sunlight, discovering the patience required to cultivate life. Mrs. Daniels encouraged them to document their observations in journals, prompting them to reflect not only on the growth of their plants, but also on their personal growth. "What does it feel like to wait?" she would ask. "What does it mean to take care of something?" The garden became a sanctuary of learning, a vibrant classroom filled with the sounds of nature. The thrill of discovery surged through the students as they witnessed the miraculous transformation from seed to sprout. They celebrated each new leaf with shouts of joy, marveling at the sheer wonder of nature's magic. And with every sprout that broke through the soil, the students developed a sense of responsibility, understanding that their efforts directly influenced the garden's success. As the project progressed, the students also began to grasp the concept of teamwork. They divided responsibilities, with some tending to the seedlings, while others handled weeding or watering. Collaborative spirit flourished as they worked together, learning to communicate and problem-solve in ways they hadn't anticipated. When the garden faced challenges, such as an unexpected pest invasion or a heavy rainstorm, the students banded together to brainstorm solutions, showcasing their perseverance and resilience. Through trial and error, they discovered the importance of adaptability. They learned to celebrate their victories, however small, and to find lessons in their setbacks. "Every gardener has faced challenges," Mrs. Daniels would remind them, her voice full of encouragement. "It's how we respond that shapes our growth." This mantra stuck with the students, teaching them valuable life skills that would serve them well beyond the garden. But the garden's impact was not confined to lessons in science and teamwork. It also nurtured a sense of community. The project drew in parents and local residents, inviting them to share their knowledge and expertise. On weekends, families gathered to help with the garden, creating a lively atmosphere filled with laughter and collaboration. Elderly neighbors shared stories from their own childhood gardens, passing down wisdom about planting techniques and seasonal cycles. The garden became a bridge, connecting generations and fostering a spirit of togetherness. As the seasons changed, so did the garden. It transformed from a patch of bare earth into a flourishing ecosystem alive with color and activity. The students eagerly awaited the harvest, but the anticipation was about more than just the vegetables. It was about the culmination of their hard work and the joy of sharing their bounty with others. When the time came for the first harvest, the excitement was electric. They gathered tomatoes, peppers, and herbs, marveling at the fruits of their labor, and each basket filled brought a new wave of pride. The Harvest Festival, organized by the students, became a community event. Families arrived with dishes made from the garden's bounty, and the schoolyard was transformed into a feast of flavors and friendship. As they sat together, sharing stories and laughter, the students recognized that the garden had cultivated more than just vegetables. It had fostered relationships, built trust, and nurtured a shared sense of purpose. For Mrs. Daniels, the success of the project exceeded her wildest dreams. She watched her students evolve, blossoming not only as gardeners, but as curious, compassionate individuals. Their eyes sparkled with newfound enthusiasm for nature, and their conversations turned toward future explorations, questions about ecosystems, sustainability, and even the impact of climate change. They were thinking critically and caring deeply, embodying the spirit of stewardship she had hoped to instill in them. The garden had become a living testament to the power of education that goes beyond the classroom. It had sown seeds of curiosity and ignited a passion for nature, prompting students to appreciate the world around them. They now understood that every seed held potential, just as they did, and that nurturing it required patience, dedication, and love. As the school year drew to a close, Mrs. Daniels organized a reflection session, inviting students to share their experiences. As they spoke, it became clear that the garden had changed them in profound ways. Some expressed how they had developed a love for gardening that they would carry into adulthood, while others shared how the project had helped them forge lasting friendships. Many spoke of the deeper connection they now felt to the environment and their community, understanding that they were part of a larger ecosystem that thrived on collaboration and care. In the years that followed, the school garden project continued to flourish, evolving with each new class of students. It became a cherished tradition, a rite of passage that students looked forward to with enthusiasm. New crops were introduced and new techniques were explored, but the core values of teamwork, perseverance, and love for nature remained steadfast. Ultimately, the garden stood as a vibrant reminder that education is not confined to the walls of a classroom. It thrived on engagement, curiosity, and the connections we forge with one another and with the earth. In nurturing a garden, Mrs. Daniels had planted the seeds of hope, compassion, and a lifelong love for learning, ensuring that the legacy of the school garden project would grow for generations to come. As the garden continued to grow, so did the sense of community and pride in the school. The school garden project didn't end with the first harvest. It became a permanent fixture at Maplewood Elementary, with new students taking up the mantle each year. The garden became a symbol of what could be achieved when people came together, showing that with a little patience, hard work, and a lot of love, even the smallest seed could grow into something beautiful. The tale of the school garden project is more than just a heartwarming account of planting seeds and cultivating plants. It is a powerful narrative that encapsulates the extraordinary potential of community spirit and shared vision. This story unfolds in a small town where a passionate teacher, Mrs. Daniels, sees an opportunity not only to teach her students about the environment, but also to unite the community through a common goal. From the very beginning, Mrs. Daniels was inspired by the idea of creating a school garden. She envisioned a space where children could learn about nature hands-on, exploring the cycles of life, while simultaneously fostering a sense of responsibility and teamwork. But she knew that this project would need more than just her enthusiasm. It would require the active participation of students, parents, and local residents. With her vision clear, Mrs. Daniels organized an assembly to introduce the concept to her students. As she spoke passionately about the benefits of a school garden, fresh vegetables, lessons in ecology, and a chance to contribute to their community, their eyes widened with excitement. She shared stories of famous gardens and talked about how they had transformed not just the environment, but also the people who tended them. The students felt the spark of possibility ignite within them, and soon ideas began to flow. This burgeoning enthusiasm didn't stop with the students. Inspired by their energy, Mrs. Daniels reached out to parents, local businesses, and community organizations, inviting them to be part of this transformative journey. Flyers were posted, meetings were held, and slowly but surely, a network of support began to form. Volunteers emerged, ready to lend a hand. Some offered expertise in gardening, while others contributed tools, seeds, and even funds to get the project off the ground. As the groundwork for the garden began, the true magic of the school garden project revealed itself. The community spirit ignited a shared vision that transcended individual contributions. Each Saturday, families gathered, digging, planting, and learning together. The once quiet schoolyard buzzed with laughter and chatter, children asking questions, adults sharing stories, and everyone united in a common purpose. It was a symphony of collaboration, with each participant playing a vital role in orchestrating the garden's success. Throughout the planting season, the garden flourished as a living metaphor for the power of unity. Students took ownership of their roles. Some focused on planting, others on watering, and a few on weeding. They learned not only about plant biology, but also about the importance of communication and respect for one another's contributions. As they dug their hands into the earth, they also dug deeper into their understanding of teamwork and friendship. They celebrated milestones together, the first sprout breaking through the soil, the first blooms of vibrant flowers, and eventually the first signs of ripe produce. As summer approached, the garden became a lush oasis, teeming with life. But it wasn't just the plants that were thriving. The sense of community had deepened in ways everyone could feel. The local grocery store organized cooking classes using the garden's bounty, while local chefs volunteered to show families how to prepare healthy meals with their harvest. This spirit of collaboration extended beyond the garden's borders, drawing more families into the fold and creating a web of support that interwove the fabric of the town. The Harvest Festival was a celebration like no other. The schoolyard transformed into a vibrant marketplace filled with colorful banners and tables laden with fresh produce. Families arrived with dishes made from their garden bounty, sharing recipes and traditions passed down through generations. Laughter rang out as neighbors connected, reconnecting with old friends and forging new relationships over the shared experience of cultivating something beautiful together. As the sun set on that unforgettable day, Mrs. Daniels looked around at the gathering of families and friends. She realized that the school garden project had blossomed into something truly transformative, not just for the students who had learned about plants, but for the entire community that had come together in support of a shared dream. It was a living testament to the idea that when people unite around a common goal, they can create a vibrant, supportive environment that nurtures growth on many levels. In the months that followed, the garden continued to flourish, but so too did the spirit of collaboration and kindness within the community. Neighbors began looking out for one another, sharing resources and offering help in times of need. The relationships forged in the garden spilled over into daily life, transforming the neighborhood into a place where everyone felt connected and supported. The school garden project had transcended its original purpose. It was now a symbol of hope and resilience. Mrs. Daniels had ignited a passion for nature and learning, but she had also sowed the seeds of community spirit that would continue to grow. The lessons learned in the garden about patience, cooperation, and the importance of nurturing relationships became the foundation for a thriving, interconnected community. As seasons turned and the years rolled by, the garden stood as a lasting reminder of what can be achieved when people come together with a shared vision. It served not only as a place of beauty and growth, but also as a beacon of inspiration for other schools and towns, encouraging them to embrace the transformative power of collaboration and the joy of nurturing not just plants, but each other. In essence, the School Garden Project is a poignant narrative that illustrates how a simple idea, when nurtured with passion and collaboration, can blossom into something extraordinary. It teaches us that every seed we plant, whether in the soil or in our relationships, holds the potential for profound transformation. It's a story that resonates deeply, reminding us of the power of community spirit and the beauty of shared dreams. At its core, the School Garden Project embodies the essence of communal effort and the magic that happens when people come together with a common goal. What started as a simple idea in Mrs. Daniels's classroom, a vision of turning a neglected plot of land into a thriving garden, soon became a symbol of unity and shared purpose. This vision, sparked by the curiosity and enthusiasm of the students, was not just about growing vegetables or learning about nature. It was about building something meaningful that would benefit everyone involved and leave a lasting impact on the community. The project drew in a diverse group of individuals, each bringing their unique talents and resources to the table. Parents, teachers, local businesses, and community members all contributed to the garden's development. Their collective efforts transformed the barren lot into a lush, vibrant garden. But the impact went far beyond the physical transformation. The garden became a living testament to the power of collaboration and the joy that arises from working together toward a shared goal. As the garden took shape, it began to nurture more than just plants. It fostered valuable life lessons for the students, teaching them about responsibility, patience, and the rewards of hard work. Through their involvement in the garden, students learned about the environment, the science of growth, and the importance of sustainability. They discovered the joy of watching their efforts come to fruition, and they experienced firsthand the satisfaction of nurturing something from its inception to its full potential. But the garden's influence extended even further. It became a space where friendships were cultivated and community bonds were strengthened. The students, teachers, and neighbors came together not just to work on the garden, but to share experiences, support each other, and celebrate their collective achievements. The garden served as a gathering place where people could connect, learn from one another, and build a sense of belonging. In the end, the School Garden Project grew into more than just a series of plants and harvests. It became a lasting legacy for the entire community. It demonstrated that even the smallest seeds, whether of plants or ideas, can yield profound and far-reaching results when they are planted in fertile ground, nurtured with care, and tended with dedication. The garden's success was not merely measured by the abundance of vegetables it produced, but by the lessons it imparted, the friendships it fostered, and the sense of pride and achievement it generated. The story of the School Garden Project serves as a powerful reminder of the incredible potential that lies in the act of coming together to pursue a common vision. It shows us that when we invest in nurturing our dreams and working collaboratively, we can create something truly remarkable, a legacy that enriches our lives, strengthens our communities, and inspires future generations. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.